I'm here. Let's see who's here. I know I had some notes in the chat before we got started today. So I'm waiting for this stream to actually load live on YouTube. I like to keep tabs on what it looks like over there. Uh, I am having some strange internet issues off and on today. And I think that's just related to the weather that we have now. It's been very stormy. We've had a lot of rain. And a couple of times today, I've had a little instance where it looked like the computer was frozen up. And I think it's just some internet related stuff. I did check my upload download stream here just a little while ago and everything looks good. So we're going to get started today. I'm so excited. This was the first RichKatRanch Roundup where I've kind of been a little almost nervous. I don't know if nervous is the right word. I've been really excited about it. My guest today is obviously the biggest channel I have interviewed so far, and I spend a lot of time at that channel, so it may just be that I just want to do right by this content creator and make sure that we all have a fun time today. So as always, I want to get started with channel stats for our channel members and previous guests on the show. So I'm going to pull up that spreadsheet. We'll share a screen. And hello, Dr. Lund. Thanks for being here today. Richard has such a knack for calling right as I'm starting the show. Let's do it this way. Nope, let's do it this way. All right, so we're just looking at growth week over week for channels. I just left the, let's see, I should be able to make that full screen, right? Yeah. So, oh, that's not what I wanted. I want to do that over here. I don't know if that made any difference. Looking for subscriber growth changes. So we'll start with our very first channel member when we became eligible for memberships. Hello, Akashi. How are you? Hi, Harry Scott. Hey, Frontier Studies. I love seeing that I've got some late horror show friends arriving already. But back to Nina and Boyce that runneth over Garden and Life. They were at 731 subscribers last Friday. They're at 737 today. Woman Outdoors was at 930 last week. She's at 946 today. Hey, Ralph, how are you? Ordered Steps, she's gained a subscriber. Again, not a lot of activity on her channel. She does have some significant health issues she has to deal with every day. So, her channel is kind of a way to journal that, but it's not something where she's putting out content, every day. But I do encourage you to check it out. She just has a very sweet spirit and a sweet attitude in spite of some challenges that she has to deal with. My friend Akashi Chris at Mindforked, who is in the chat today, and you guys absolutely must check out her channel. She has visited Late Horror Show at least a time or two. I've sent her some text messages, I know, to let her know when we're doing like paranormal stuff, UFO related stuff, because that is a main focus of her channel. She talks about a lot of other things that are related to, paranormal things and high strangeness and ancient, civilization theories and such. So a lot of variety there. She's got a wonderful way of editing and some great music with a lot of her videos. So please check her out. This is my friend and channel member Akashi Chris at Mindforked. She was at 256 subscribers last Friday. She's at 262 today. A neighbor of ours. Well, Nina and Boyce are kind of neighbors too, because they aren't too terribly far from RichKatRanch. My friend Byron at 12 Stones Ranch, about an hour and 20 minutes or so from us. He's been here to meet all the animals and have dinner with us. He was at 1,950 something subscribers last Friday. He's down to 1,940. Isn't that sad? I say he's down to 1,940 something. Again, he hasn't posted in a few weeks. It really can have an impact on the channel if there isn't consistent content being put out. But he's still holding on pretty firmly there to this amazing growth that we've all observed in the last 6 weeks or so. My friend Weave's World from across the pond is still sitting at 3,120 something subscribers. This is another great channel that really tailors all of its content toward viewers. Everything he does is so the viewers can enjoy it. I can't even claim that for myself because I do a lot of almost vlogging. I'm just documenting our life here and what's going on with the animals. I think a lot of people enjoy that. I know I enjoy those kind of videos, but a lot of it really is for me. I want to have something to look back on. I want, people who know me and family members to have something to look back on. And there have been some significant events, some losses regarding the animals that really made me aware of how important it was to have a video journal of that, process and those last days and moments with animals that were really special to us. Not that they're not all special, but that being said, I just want to give Weaves a shout out for really every moment that he devotes to the channel is to produce content that is enjoyable and meaningful for the viewer. I know he has fun. You can tell he has fun when we're all together, but check him out. Newest channel member, Joe Hupp. I think he's in Australia. He was in the stream last Friday. I'm not sure if we'll get to see him today. Hello, Dancing Alone with Reynolds. How are you? Thanks for being here today. It's very, very rainy and cold here, y'all. So it's a good day, except that I have already cleaned up dog poop from inside the house once because I've got a couple of dogs that are terrified of storms to the point that even if it's just misting or sprinkling, they get so nervous. So I don't know who did it. We've also got 2 boarders here. I don't think they've ever made a mess in the house, but I can't fault anyone because it's just really not comfortable outside today, and you got to do what you got to do. So, oops, hang on. I just had a dog knock my glass of water over. Hopefully that's not going to cause a problem. Let's see if I can dry this. Anyway, so back to where we were. Joe Hupp, he was at 269 subscribers last Friday. He's at 268 today, so not a significant change, but some fun content there. And I encourage you to check out his channel as well. Will you bring me a towel? Oh, will you bring me a towel, Richard? Or some paper towels, please? And now moving on to guests we have had on the show. Another neighbor of ours, Nick at Multi-Hunter 24/7. Again, a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours away from RichKatRanch out toward Abilene. And he was at 537 subscribers last Friday. He's at 533 today. Any of you who are content creators know that you really can't get too stressed out about the little losses here and there. Some of that is just YouTube kind of cleaning house. There are, bots and things out there. There are people that on a whim might subscribe to a channel and then they never watch anything on the channel. So periodically, there are going to be some numbers dropping, and it's not anything really to worry about. I know when you're trying to grow a channel and even beyond, it can be discouraging to see the numbers going down, but that's not a big drop for him. So I don't have any worries about what might be happening over at Multi-Hunter 24/7. A lot of great hunting content, just homesteading content. He has a beautiful, precious family, and it's kind of an escape to go and watch his videos. My friend Tiffany at Mud and Mascara Homestead, she was at 312 subscribers last week. She's at 336 today. So continuing to grow. I think she had that little drop a couple of weeks ago, probably for similar reasons to what might be happening over at Nick's channel. But she's on the right trajectory, and I'm having fun watching her channel grow. A lot of practical think ahead material at her channel. So if you have any concerns ever about the state of the economy, or, whether or not we're going to have grocery shortages or toilet paper shortages or things like that, just a lot of how-tos and, ways to get information on how to prepare, a lot of info on how to can, your own foods, preserve foods, so that you've got a stockpile in the event that there is some sort of an issue that might result in a shortage of items. So check out Tiffany at Mud and Mascara Homestead. Our new land, Ryan and Devin, they are Texas neighbors as well. They bought some property in Oklahoma, and together they've been restoring and building up that property. They will eventually live on the property. If you, for some reason, haven't checked their channel out yet, I just want to remind you again that they have an amazing story. They are full-blooded brothers who never met each other until just in the last couple of years. They didn't know about each other. And so that's an interesting story with a very happy ending, I think. And would really encourage you guys to go check it out. They share the goofs right along with the successes as far as the things they're building and the plans they're making. So it's just a really real kind of channel. You just see things as they're happening and get to laugh along when it doesn't go as planned. My friends, Jesse and Lisa at Lazy Days Ahead, they are also Texas neighbors of ours. They are down in Houston or near Houston. And Jesse often pops into my chats. He is a moderator for the channel. He's a moderator for a lot of the homestead channels. And I just guarantee that if you spend enough time checking out the live streams, you will meet him at some point. I see Devin from Our New Land is in the chat today. Thanks for being here. Nora, the Stock Explorer, thanks for being here. Looks like Dino is here in the chat. So thank you for being here, Dino, and watching along. I'm going to do some stats here and then I'll bring you up. So Jesse and Lisa, they were at 1,170 something subscribers last Friday. They're at 1,180 today, 80 something. I can only see those first three digits when I look at his channel. My friend Ginger at Not For Nothing Homestead, she was at 293 subscribers last Friday. She's at 345 today, but I wanted to point something out to you. And I saw this update come from vidIQ a week or so ago that YouTube was going to be extending the community tab functionality to more channels, regardless of whether or not they had the 500 subscribers that had been the requirement. So that little CT that you see next to Ginger's name, that means she has her community tab. She's already using it, so she knows she's got it. But at 345 subscribers, she did already get her community tab. There is some speculation that part of that just has to do with what YouTube identifies as an upward trend for channels. So as you can see, she's been growing steadily. She was part of the Last Chance Cook-Off collaboration. I feel like we saw a lot of subscribers added to her family around the time she participated in that. But who knows what all criteria is being considered for extending the community tab to smaller channels. What the Flock, my friend Robin was at 355 subscribers last Friday. She's at 363 today. You'll see I don't have that community tab notification for her entry here. So she doesn't have one yet. So again, I haven't been able to figure out exactly what's making some smaller channels eligible and some not, but it'll be fun to see if and when that pops up for her. And we want to continue to help her grow her channel so that she can get to that 500 subscriber mark. My friend Lee at First Floor Audio, Northampton, England. So another UK friend was at 586 subscribers last Friday. He's at 595 today. So he's had his community tab for a little while. And again, if you missed I think it was episode 10. I think it was episode 10 of the Roundup. Lee did a concert for us that day. It is worth a watch. It is worth a listen. Obviously, I'd love for you guys to give it a view and get me some watch hours, but he's just unbelievably talented and very generous to share what he's able to do with music for us. So please check that episode out. My friend Katie at Mayfield Ranch, she was at 382 subscribers last Friday. She's at 391 today. She has a community tab, but I don't see anything posted there. So I don't know if she knows she's got it. I might have to send her an email and make sure that she knows that she's got that available for use. Rich at Rich New Design was at 292 subscribers. He's dropped a few, but he did post in his community tab that he recently received as part of this new rollout from YouTube. He did post that he's having some technical issues or some computer issues right now, and the show is kind of on hold until mid-November. So again, he's making some great use of his community tab, probably the most efficient way to reach your subscribers if there's important information or, an event coming up for you. And so now back to Country Homestead. This is Jeff and Lorena, more neighbors of ours here. I know that's not saying much. Texas is very, very big, so odds are probably good that I'm going to geographically be near a lot of content creators. And Texas is probably considered among the most homestead, farm, ranch kind of states. So I don't imagine it's much of a shock that I would have a lot of people that are geographically close to me listed among these channels. But Jeff and Lorena were at 456 subscribers last Friday. They are at 460 today. So they don't have their community tab yet. We're still working on helping them grow to a point where they can get it. Let me read this comment from Philip at Frontier Studies. I love charts, but haven't yet found a good way to make charts here on my phone. Since I'm between computers, I've been back to making charts with pen and paper like the ancients. Ooh, there's some good therapy there, though, right? So I have the little Hanson Office something or other for my Android phone, and it works pretty good. I don't feel like I can do as much with it, or I don't know how to do as much with it. So, but I don't have to make a lot of charts on my phone. Anything I make, I can always make, on a computer and then email it to myself to keep a copy on the phone. But let's see, back to business here. Moving on, the next guest that was on the show after Jeff and Lorena was Brittany from RB Story, Ronnie and Brittany. They were at 356 subscribers last Friday. They are at 388 today, and they have their community tab. I don't think I saw anything on that one either, so I don't think she knows she's got it. So I may be sending out some emails or text messages to let some of these channels know the good news. Ashley at CNC Farm grew from 404 subscribers last Friday to 488. I just want you guys to see how exciting this growth is here, that she gained 100 subscribers in a week before last to last Friday, and then now close to another 100 subscribers in this past week. So whatever she's doing at that channel, she's doing right. Again, a lot of practical tips, recipes, how-tos, and they're bringing you along on the journey as they kind of upgrade their house and the property, and they get ready to add chickens and build some outdoor structures to have animals outside. So it's just a fun channel, and she has a very nice presentation style. So check her out. Home Bartending with John was at 180 subscribers last Friday. He's at 190 today, and he has his community tab. I think I saw that he had posted something there. I think that's right. But be sure and check all of these out and interact with those posts when you can. Psychology Noir with Dr. Lund, who is in the chat today. She's been at every one of our 12 Days of Halloween movies so far. I think you and Adam, Dr. Lund, are the only two that have actually been able to make it to every movie so far. So kudos for that. She grew from 373 subscribers last Friday to 409 today. And you have a community tab. I don't know if you know that, because I don't think I saw anything posted there when I checked out your channel this morning to see what your subscriber count was. So check that out. Start putting some messages there for us. And then Adam Sky, who is another of my friends from the UK, was with us last week. We had an amazing time. I hope you guys enjoyed that, because I smiled the rest of the day. I just had so much fun with him. And it was so nice because I think he's been in he's been in a lot of our 12 Days of Halloween movies already, all of them so far. And then he was with us for a movie a few weeks ago before 12 Days of Halloween started. And I'd heard his voice. Obviously, I hear his voice in his videos and see him in his videos. But when I met him the day of the interview, it felt kind of like a first meeting, but it went exactly like I thought it would. I just enjoy his humor. And we had a lot of fun. So I hope that was fun for you guys. If you haven't watched that stream yet from last Friday, please check it out. And now I have back in my green. Oh, we'll spin for channel of the week, and then I'm going to bring up the special guest I have back in the green room. So let me get this. Oops. Oh, my keyboard's dry. And we're going to spin for our channel of the week. Again, for those who don't know, this is just, I think, a fun way to introduce you to possibly some channels that are new to you that you might not, have known about otherwise. And I just kind of have fun each week going through and checking out the channels on my subscription list. So these are channels to which I'm subscribed. Gives you a little bit more of a look into, okay, Brampton Gardener. So this is another of our, sort of homesteady, obviously a lot of gardening on the channel, but she kind of fits into that homesteady niche that a lot of us call home. And let's see. So I will get that added to the spreadsheet here in just a bit. Let me get this closed. And we're going to pull up. We're going to pull up my guests channel. I don't know why that's still doing that. Oh, I guess I could have just done it from right there. Oh, except that I don't want to lose my live. Oh, wow. Let's get oriented on the keyboard here. I can't see for one thing. I have to have the lights down really low and the screen brightness down really low because of my glasses. So I just want to have his channel pulled up so that we can be looking at that. And I am going to bring him on screen. Are you ready to go, Dino? All right. I think I see him saying yes. So here comes the one and only Dino from the Late Late Horror Show. And I hope you guys are going to have fun getting to know him today. Hey, Dino.
Hey, what's going on?
Not a whole lot yet. I am so excited. I was sharing maybe before you came in that this is the first stream that I've almost been kind of nervous.
Oh gosh, why would you be nervous talking to me?
It may have just been more just excited about having you on the show. So I want to say some more greetings right quick because I see that Ginger, one girly girl, is in the chat. Thank you for being here. I see that Cassie at Crime Time, Wine Time. Does that not sound like a great combination, guys, right there? You check that out. That's a very interesting concept she's got going at the channel. Joe and Sue from the Bud Files are here. Thank you for that. And my apologies if I've missed anyone else. I try to keep up with the chat as it's happening, but sometimes that's easier said than done. There's Ginger from Not For Nothing Homestead. Sorry, I missed it when you came in. I am so tickled that all of you guys are here. I'm going to stop. Oh, I already stopped sharing my screen, but I'm going to pull up the little cheat sheet I have that has my questions on it. And first I'll just ask you, how are you today? And what's the weather doing? That kind of general stuff.
Oh, geez, I'm doing good today. I think I'm a little under the weather, but listen, I'm not too bad. I'm doing good. It's a little chilly outside, but yeah. You woke me from my slumber. The daytime. Oh no, what's going on?
Look how great he looks right when he gets up. And y'all can't tell because of this weird I have my cat ears. I do have my cat ears on today.
Oh yeah.
But I just haven't figured out my lighting really yet. And I think I told you before, I have to fight with this green screen back here so often that.
Oh, it's tricky. It's tricky. When it comes to green screens, you need lights on the side of you and the back if it ain't bright enough. So it's a tricky thing. So that's why I kind of fell back to the studio alone. I used to maybe 4 years ago do the green screen thing, but it just got too complicated.
I'll try the lights first. Our computer is just in a place in the house where I don't know how I could really just block off everything behind me. I think I've told you the turtle tank is right back here. And, and then our workstation with the printer and the fax machine and all of
Kathy, it don't really matter. It matters mostly on who's talking and speaking and your personality.
Okay.
The rest, you can be blurry around your head and all that. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so, then I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah. Right. And I do want to say hi to everybody. Hey, Ginger, Dr. Lund, and I do like that name, Crime Time, Wine Time.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So, yeah, welcome everybody. Yep.
Yeah, and I see Adam Sky is here. Thank you, Adam. Hey, Stephen at Pawpaw's Kitchen. Thank you all for being here. And I'll ask you, since you said it's chilly there, like when do you get snowfall? What's typical for when you get snow?
Oh,
Oh, tell
listen.
everyone where you are. I guess I should let you tell them geographically where you are.
Well, yeah, geographically, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, right on the Lake Erie there. Um, and then Canada's right above us. So we get a lot of snowfall during the winter. We're actually one of the snowier places around because of how the lake effect gets us. But listen, Cleveland, Ohio is a weird place. It's all over the place, just like I'm sure Pennsylvania and Indiana and some of these other places where you never know when you're going to get the first snowflake. You really
Okay.
don't. I mean, it could be after the beginning of the year. I mean, technically, the other day we had some little snowflakes, so you can kind of say that's the beginning. But it's between now and January, and then when it hits, sometimes certain years it hits hard. Sometimes it don't, but I hate it. I
Oh,
hate it.
that was going to be my next question. Do you like snow?
Well, I've lived here my whole life, and
You don't have a
there comes
choice.
a point to where again you kind of get sick of certain things. You either like it or you don't. Some people like to just bundle up, stay in their homes, and they love wintertime, but I'm not like that. I like the summer. I like being outside, and yeah, I've had enough with snow. So
Well,
eh,
maybe it'll go easy on you this year.
I hope
Um,
so.
so I want to go through. I have a list of questions for you. Nothing scary, but
No,
I want to
listen.
know more about you, and I'd love for viewers to know more about you because some of my favorite channels have become my favorite channels because of how much I like the content creator. And so the more I can get to know my favorite channel creators, just the more I'm going to be in love with the channel.
Oh
So,
yeah.
first
No.
question, this is really basic. What
Okay.
motivated you to start a YouTube channel?
Oh, geez, that's a simple question. I've gone over, and at first, let me say thank you for becoming part of the community that we have at the Late Late Horror Show. It means a lot. Right off the bat, you were kind of like there, and you're there every night, and you're like boom, boom, boom. So I know you enjoy it, and you love what I'm doing. So thank you, thank you. Um, but the question itself, I've done this for let's see, 7 years.
Okay.
And listen, I have said this many times, but not to you and all the new people. But me and my buddy just figured, one day, I don't know, my son was talking about YouTube. I didn't know anything about YouTube. Didn't even know it existed. And I looked at it and I go, oh, and then I got hooked on a couple channels that were talking about horror movies because I'm a horror junkie, kind of to speak. I love horror movies, especially the older ones, the Universal horrors and stuff like that. But I said, you know what? Hey, Ted, my buddy, why don't we sit down and talk about horror movies, because we do it anyways. Let's not why not stream it? So out of nowhere, I just said, hey, you know what, I'm gonna do this, man. And you will not believe how we did this 7 years ago. Let me explain to you how our first ever, it was Island of Lost Souls, and you could go back and look at the very first video. It's all just a black screen. Okay, because how we did it was I had an iPad at the time, and I flipped it over so that nobody could see us, but they could hear us. So we pretty much streamed on an iPad right over, and that's how we did our stream. And we talked about Island of Lost Souls. It was a great discussion and talk. But yeah, it was just an iPad, and from there, every week for literally, oh geez, 5 years straight, we did a movie discussion every single week. It was limited to once a week, but every single week we did something like that for 5 years, and it got better and better and better and better, in my opinion. I mean, we started out with the black screen. I got a microphone, then a toy popped up on the little thing in front of me. I learned a lot over the time period, but it was fun. It was fun, and I still enjoy it. And now I gotta other people to talk to now and stuff, you know. So since Ted ain't doing it no more, but yeah, that's how I began.
Are those videos still on the channel?
Oh yeah, you can
Okay,
listen. The
because I haven't
archive is there.
been digging back too far. There's so much to look at, and the old time radio streams are
Hmm.
like the shiny things for me.
Yeah,
So I just am obsessed with listening to
right.
those. And it just occurred to me today. I know you've asked before, leave a comment, and I'll listen to these streams. A lot of times I listen to streams way beyond the overnights that you see me in, and I don't think to leave a comment.
Oh, I
So
know. Listen. That's part of it. And hey, Tracy, and everybody else. Hey, Harry Scott, what's going on?
yeah, and I
Dawn.
see Don Ray B also. Hey,
Yeah.
Tracy, thanks for being here. Hey, Byron. There's Byron at 12 Stones Ranch, one of our Texas neighbors.
Yeah,
Um,
listen, Kathy. That's the one thing with the long streams like that. People fall asleep to them. So I'm not going to get as many comments to my detriment as I should or would want. But when live ends, people are sleeping, getting up for the morning, and getting ready for the day.
yeah,
But it's not. Even though that would be nice, it's not so much all about that anymore. Listen, me, like I said, me and Ted did the movie discussions for 5 years, and then the what you call it hit 3 years ago. You know, I'm not going to say the word, but all hell, was let loose on the earth, whatever. And I said, you know what? One night I wasn't feeling too well, and I said, you know what? I listened to these overnight streams on my own on my iPod Classic that I had every single night. Why don't I share it with the people who are having the same issues with me and as me, and let them join in and see if it helps them too? And before I knew it, I woke up that morning to a mess of subs, a mess of comments. I did it again the next day, and I saw a bunch of people in the chat, and I'm going, "Holy heck, this is pretty cool." And then the messages came in where from hospice centers and hospitals, people are ill, and they're saying, "Listen." The one message that hit me really hard when I first started this and kept me going and keeps me going today was there was a nurse on a hospice floor that said, all these people are going through so much, their families and everything. And at a certain time at night when they're trying to go to bed, they always get grumpy. They're hollering, they're saying, hey, just in a bad mood. And she said, I turned this on, I found you, and I turned this on, and the whole floor just got quiet. And she went on to say how much she just appreciates what I'm doing and what it means to these people who are being comforted by hearing something from the past. And I never looked back. And after 3 years later, I'm up to 90,000 subs, and we keep growing. And hopefully people still stay interested in all that. And yeah, I mean, that's what happened there, kind
and
of.
even I, as much as some of the shows we listen to together do remind me of, good times in my life and things that were fun for me growing up, it didn't occur to me how
Mhm.
impactful that might be for older people that maybe are having a hard time now. What a beautiful thing. That's a
Oh
beautiful
yeah, and not just that. I mean, people who have anxiety, who have actually terminal illness. I mean, there's a really good friend on the channel that he's going through a heck of a lot, and this helps him every single night to get through what he knows is inevitable. Just that, the anxiety. People got tinnitus where they can't sleep, and having something play in the background kind of takes that away a little bit. So there's just a number of reasons why it's such a great thing. Yeah.
I love it. Oh, and I got to say hello to my friend Robert at Zombie Prepper. Thanks for being here today. And I have another question for you. I'm kind of just going to
Go
jump
ahead,
around
dude.
as I find things on my little list of questions that I want to ask,
Yeah.
because I know you're a horror movie buff.
Hmm.
And maybe all of these answers you're going to give me won't all be horror movies. I kind of suspect they will. But name 3 movies that everyone should watch.
Oh gosh, horror related
Just
or anything.
I'll leave that to you. It could be your 3 favorites and you think everybody would benefit from watching them, or just 3 movies in general that you've seen, if there are other movies that you enjoy too.
Well, I'll go with my 3 movies that I can't see. That's a tough question because the 3 movies I pick is not necessarily the 3 movies that everybody is going to say, oh, that's the great 3, you know. But I've got 3 that I would just take with me if, like, if you go off to an island.
Okay, right. Well, and we're getting to know you, so yeah. So let it be that. Let it be the 3 that you would take on an island.
So listen. The Maltese Falcon is number 1. Okay. This is weird. I wish you would have given me 5, but 3 we'll go with.
You can
the
have
Maltese
5.
Falcon, just because of the it is what it is. All the greats.
You can take 5 movies to the island.
What's that?
I'll let you take 5 movies to the island. Give us 5.
Okay. Well, okay. So the Maltese Falcon. And this is going to sound really silly, but the one movie that I literally just can't live without, because when I'm sick, I put this movie in. When I'm feeling down, I put this movie in. When I'm feeling low, I put this movie in. And it's just a fun movie. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is a movie. Again, see, these aren't, Oscar, but listen, it's just a fun, awesome movie that I love. It's near and dear to my heart. Maltese Falcon, Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. And then the third one, it's a kind of a horror comedy. It's The Burbs with Tom Hanks. It's just a fun. Corey Feldman's in it, a whole mess of people. It's just one that I just put on, similar to Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, all the time. And I know almost every line from the movie and all that. So those are kind of my top 3. I'm not saying they're the best films in the world, although The Maltese Falcon may be up there as one of the greatest of all time. The other 2 are just fun and comforting films to me. So there you go. That's my top 3.
Sweet. And let's see. So, favorite actor. We've talked about movies. Who's your favorite actor?
Oh boy, these questions are just Kathy.
Or you can give me top 3 favorite actors.
Well, yeah, you throw. See, when I'm thrown off guard, because listen, there's so many great actors. There's certain times of the year that you get into another actor more than others. But it's a tough question. Oh my gosh. I mean, if I go back, some of the greatest films I've ever watched were ones with Humphrey Bogart in it. So can I say Humphrey Bogart? And yes, of course I can. But geez, I would say this is all old school. Listen, I'm an old soul. James Cagney, number 2. And then, boy, if I throw something newer in there, I'm thinking all over the place. Like Tom Hanks is also, he's done some crap, but he's really done a great. He's got a great filmography. So, but I don't know. I might have to go Edward G. Robinson or Roddy McDowall, just because I love Planet of the Apes so much. And although Roddy McDowall hasn't done enough films to put him in that category, so. How about I say Edward G. Robinson? Okay. There you go.
I always think gangster when I hear that name.
Oh, yeah. Listen, he was in a lot of films, as was James Cagney. And a lot of them, the gangster type films, which are the best. But when they veer off, like James Cagney veered off into that like musical period towards the end of his career, I'm like, I don't so much care for that as much. But listen, those probably are my favorite. I'd have to sit down and really think, because there's some beautiful and great actresses from the time period too that should technically be in the list if I were to put a top 10 list together. But
give me a couple of the actresses then. There's not any rules today.
Oh no, I know. It's hard, like Nicole Kidman. Listen, I love, she's a beautiful woman. I've been in love with her forever in her films. And, she's been in some Stanley Kubrick films, Eyes Wide Shut. I love the material. She's done tons of stuff. Nicole Kidman maybe up there, and just a fantastic actress. Oh, Kathy. I mean, geez. My
Does this
number
feel
one.
like a grilling yet?
Well, my number. Well, no, it's. I'm just trying to think. Mia Farrow's another one, but she hasn't really done a whole lot. But the ones she's done, like Rosemary's Baby, my favorite horror film of all time. She just was fantastic in there. And of course everybody knows. I love her too, Mia Farrow. she's just so beautiful in there. But then she kind of left the movie biz and went on to raise a family and our kids and everything else. I think we all know the issues going on there, right? But yeah, I don't know. I need throw me another question. I don't know,
Well, I
or
wanted to
whatever.
point out one thing that Adam Sky said about taking movies on your island is that the plane won't take that much weight. You're limited to 3 movies and a VCR.
There you go.
And then I see that Jeff from Back to Country Homestead is here. He's a John Wayne kind of a guy.
Okay.
My friend Ginger is also a Nicole Kidman fan. Looks like Philip loves Christopher Lee.
Listen.
At least in the villain department. I think he's
Oh, yeah.
like the greatest Dracula there ever was, y'all.
Well, listen, he did Wicker Man, the original Wicker Man, which was fantastic. Yeah, Christopher Lee has done so many films and could easily be in that category as one of my favorites. But again, and Vincent Price. I mean,
yeah, it is hard to narrow it down. Yes.
it is. So you need subcategories. You got to, horror, the drama stuff, the gangster films, so it's a tough question. You almost need, a bunch of categories to fill that out. But yeah.
So not counting our Friday night movies, what's the last movie you watched?
What's the last movie I watched? It was the one we just did for movie discussion. The man or the house with laughing windows. Yeah, the Giallo film. Yeah.
Okay.
Middle of the road. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay. And do you have any TV shows you really like?
Oh, geez, of course, Kathy. I mean, listen, Honeymooners is this is my rotation. Okay. I'll go like this, that I'll go through them. I'll start another series and it's always All in the Family. I love Eat It There. I love that show. As controversial as it is, lots of very heavy-heated topics come up on that show. But All in the Family, Sanford and Son. These are two series that are always on for me. The Honeymooners, I must have watched all the classic episodes and the undiscovered ones 100 times. Who knows? So Honeymooners, Three's Company is another great one I always watch. But if we get to the newer stuff too, I mean, at first The Walking Dead was a fantastic series. Game of Thrones was fantastic until the end. Listen, I'm disappointed at the ending of every show pretty much. Sopranos, another great one. But those are my classics that are kind of always in constant rotation that I will always bring up. All in the Family, Sanford and Son, and Honeymooners. My 3 there, right there.
Are you a fan of reality TV at all?
Oh God, I hate to admit this, but you know what? I am. I am. I like Survivor.
Okay.
Survivor. Survivor, Big Brother, but the one I liked the most was Big Brother UK.
Oh, okay.
The US version, I still enjoy it, but the UK, they have too many games and contests and stuff. The UK Big Brother, which they ended, and hopefully they're going to bring back because it was the best thing I ever watched when it came to reality shows. They locked them in just like Big Brother US, but they leave them be and they just interact as a community. So there'll be arguments, there'll be talking. You just get kind of brung into their world, and I love that about the UK version. But the US version, it's again, everything's about excitement, games, who's going to win, who's head of household. They didn't have that in the UK version. But also the challenge on MTV. I like stuff like that just because I wish I was in there competing like that, because I've always been a big I'm a martial arts guy, and me and my son have done it. He's done it from the age of 3 years old, and he's 14, and we've done Brazilian jiu-jitsu, grappling, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing. This is stuff people probably don't know a whole lot about me. Do all of this stuff. It helps keep you in shape, although my back I'm feeling the age. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, that's about it. Since Dino liked the Honeymooners, does he also like the Flintstones? Is that a serious question, or are you joking because my name's Dino? But the Flintstones is great. I mean, come on, Fred Flint. It's a fun show, man, and it is similar to the Honeymooners. Yeah, it's funny. I was just watching. HBO Max has all of the Looney Tunes episodes, all of them. Okay. And there are a few of the Honeymooners, the mice that play Ralph and Ed and Alice. And, so I just got done yesterday watching one of those episodes. It was a great episode by Looney Tunes. It's just like the Honeymooners, except they're mice. So anyways.
We've got a lot of Flintstones fans in the chat today. Check that out. Yeah. So
we do too. But anyways, go ahead.
Have you ever cried at a movie?
Oh God, listen, yes. Yes. I'm a very emotional person. So I wear my heart on my sleeve, so to speak, and that's who I am. I have cried over many things. Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of a movie that actually put me there, but I can't think off bad. But yeah, a lot of emotional moments in movies do that to me. So,
and I think I see the answer to this next question, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you have any tattoos?
Oh, well, of course. Can you?
I caught a glimpse of one. Let me.
Yin Yang right there, and I'm trying to get it on camera. The Griffith right there. So it's the dragon. It's kind of upside down, but those are the only two I got, Kathy. I'm not. I got these 20 years ago. Okay, and I planned on getting a whole mess. My uncle continued, and he's like tatted from his neck down, almost the entire body. I think that's a little too far, but to each their own. But yeah, I just ended up with two, unfortunately.
And I know before I move on, Dr. Lund had a question about how you learned. I think it was Dr. Lund. How did you learn to make the thumbnails, not the thumbnails, the backgrounds that you use for your overnight streams? I can't find the question. I think it was.
Oh, geez. Listen, I went to, no, I understand what he's saying. I went to film school. So I did go to film school. That's why I got everything I got here. Nice camera, lighting, all this stuff. I mean, I learned a lot. Technically, this took over everything about 3 years ago, this channel and all that. And I went at it full time. But yeah, I use Adobe for just about everything. All of their suite of tools that they have. Sometimes it takes an awful long time to do some of these things, and sometimes it doesn't. So it just depends on what I'm using. Listen, there's secrets to some things, but yeah, it's editing and doing stuff like that. So,
do you have pets? I think I've heard you reference the dogs before, or a dog.
Well, that's my kid's dog, and I got two cats. The orange one that's Zeus, and the black one that's Zara, named after, of course, the Planet of the Apes. So orange. The orangutan, Zeus.
You get it. Cornelius. No Cornelius, though, huh?
No, because Zera's a female.
Oh, okay.
So, I could say Cornelius, but no, Zera. Listen, Zera's an adorable chimp. So, I had to do that. So,
what is your star sign? Your sun's star sign.
My what?
Your astrological sign.
Oh, a Pisces.
Okay.
Yeah, which is clearly represented in who I
Yeah,
am as
I
a
was gonna
person.
say, yeah, that seems
So,
to match. Cassie, if Cassie is still in the chat, I think she would be able to tell us a whole lot about that. So I think you would really enjoy her channel a lot.
okay.
She's got the Crime Time Wine Time channel. That's a new endeavor of hers.
Hmm.
But she also has a channel called Oracles and Beyond. And
Okay.
so she does a lot of like tarot reading, and it's really cool.
Gotcha.
It's
Gotcha.
really cool.
Okay.
And she and Akashi from Mind Forked actually got together and did readings for pets a few weeks back. I thought that was amazing.
Interesting.
Although
Okay.
the readings for the pets, I know when it came my turn, it
Yeah.
sure felt more like the reading was for me than it was for the pets that I had.
Well, listen, you've got, I'm into that. I've got a Paranormal to the Night show. So, I do got certain, whatever you call them gifts or whatever, but I'm empathic. I've got, listen, you probably overwhelm whoever's doing the reading
Maybe so.
because of all the animals that are around you. And
Maybe so.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? It's interesting.
Maybe so. Are you musically inclined?
Um, that's another thing where I love music is a big part of who I am. From the early stuff from the 20s all the way. Oh God, I'm not even going to say now. There are some musical groups that I enjoy today, but I thought I would become a musician, okay, during my teenage years because I loved it so much, and I wrote a lot. I still have everything I wrote, but I would have loved to, but never did get to that point. So yeah, if that answers your question.
So tell me where the theme for the overnight streams came from.
The themes for the overnight stream is, the channel's called the Late Late Horror Show, horror. So I like to keep it as kind of dark, kind of spooky. So the channel kind of is that. It's all about that, the mystery. Listen, I had to throw in, you get detective nights too and stuff. I mean, you can't. There's way more detective shows than there are horror shows
Right,
or even mystery shows out there. So,
right.
heck, with that said, there's even just as much comedy, which is why I tried to start the other channel. Just I can't handle doing two channels at one time. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you consider yourself more artistic or mathematical?
Oh, artistic, yes.
Okay. And are you a sports fan? Do you follow any sports teams?
I'll make this really quick. No, not at all. No, I'm sick of sports, but I grew up on sports. I loved sports. I played sports. I went to state in track and field, football. I did it all. I loved it. It was a big part of my life. All of us got together in the small school that I grew up in. And, it's just nobody could catch me. It was a big part of my life because I loved it so much. Browns, Indians, yes, Cavs. Listen, I'm from Cleveland. So, as bad as they are, yes, I was a fan no matter what. I get older, things change. I got a little bit more of artistic, and films and things like that meant a lot more to me. Writing, all of that stuff. So when your teams aren't doing that great, they kind of take a back seat. I'm not a backseat fan. I guess I am now. I could say that if they started to go to the Super Bowl or they were undefeated, let's say, I probably would be watching and going, oh, are they going to win this year? But I reached a point just where I kind of moved on from that phase. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I do now is, with my kid and the exercising there. And that's kind of just to stay healthy, stay in shape. And guide my children down the right path, that it's an important thing that you must do. So,
Do you consider yourself more an introvert or an extrovert?
Well, that's a tough question too, because I can be an extrovert on camera, right? But in real life, I'm kind of an introvert. And that has to do with me being very open and I have been on my channel. I've dealt with I had a rough childhood from till the age of 18. Let's just say physical, mental abuse. I could have taken the left road, I don't know, and crumbled and deteriorated, but I took the right road. And there's 7 of us, and 3/4 of them took the left road. I took the right road. I was the oldest of all of them. Tried to help them and tried to guide them, but I took everything I saw from my childhood, the the abuse, the hatred, everything. I said, the alcohol. I said, listen, Kathy, I haven't had a drink my entire life. And it's
Nice.
because of me seeing, and there's nothing wrong with it. Plenty of people can have a glass. I wish I could have a glass of wine each night, right? But I just choose not to, because I took that right path. And I said, nothing is going to turn me into what I was raised with. So, but there's the anxiety, there's the panic attacks that I used to have when I was younger, which were terrible. So all of that kind of mix keeps me somewhat of an introvert, but you throw me in somewhere and I could be an extrovert. So that's kind of how things are.
Nice. Here's a question from Adam Sky, wondering what your favorite Hitchcock movie is.
Oh, as we watched The Birds on your channel this week, which was Hitchcock, I think for sure it's Rare Window. Jimmy Stewart. I just, there's something about that I just love. I mean, listen, Strangers on a Train is another fantastic one. He's done tons. But Rear Window, yes, I just love Jimmy Stewart sitting in there. I love the whole aspect of the theater type setting, with all of the windows to all the apartments and watching what's going on here. It's kind of a voyeuristic thing. Not that I'm a voyeur, but it's just, listen, I think most people are, but if you take it to the nth degree, it can sound very, hey, listen, that dude's a little weird, but everybody's got that, well, it's interesting. Okay, look at the life that this person's leading. There's, something happened. You know what I mean? A murder just occurred. And Jimmy's, I love the movie. So Rare Window. I know I'm long-winded.
That movie. So the part that speaks to me for whatever strange reason, and let me share with you. So I'm the oldest of 4 who grew up in what sounds like probably very similar
Circumstances.
chaos.
Okay.
And I kind of had to do the same thing, make a choice. Which way am I going to go? It kind of makes it hard for me to, understand when people don't make that choice, but it's their choice to make. So right. I'm among the few that's never been in jail or on drugs or any of the things that I saw growing up. Right. And again, and I'm the oldest. Maybe that's part of your appeal for me, is just that, that big brother kind of vibe that you give off. But for Rear Window, one of the things that really speaks to me for some reason is the fact that he's laid up, the fact that he's not really ambulatory. He can't, like it makes me feel like, how helpless would you feel? You see something, or you think you see something, and you can't go help. You can't, run downstairs and go get a closer look or something. And for some reason, that's part of what appeals to me in a weird way about that movie. So I like it that you picked that one.
It's all about the psychology of things. You know what I mean? He's like you said, laid up. He's trying to convince a couple other characters that, this is going on. Eventually kind of they start to come in, and help. But yeah, pretty much it's all about what he's going through in his mind and seeing and witnessing, and why isn't anybody believing me? Things aren't adding up. And in the end, he's right. But yeah, it's very interesting. Hitchcock does that in a lot of his films. it's very psychological. I mean, psycho. I mean, anyways, yeah.
Do you like to travel?
Oh, so you're hitting on stuff. How about I just lie and I say, oh, sure, yes.
Well, the next part of it was just going to be like, what's the best vacation or your favorite place you've ever visited?
Well, this will all be in my mind. So let's just say, I would love to travel. I would love to go to Europe. I would love to see all the old architecture of Europe, like you know, Italy, Rome, even Sweden, Finland, some of those countries over there in that vicinity. It's I just love old Europe, let's just say, and I would love to travel there. Anything old, the UK, I would love to go there. Not for long because it's very dreary, drab, and rainy, and I don't like that. But yeah, yeah.
And so we've already talked, I know, on your show about what you're not a coffee drinker.
No.
What? So
I
in the
love
mornings,
coffee. It's my favorite flavor of anything other than chocolate,
right?
let's say. But
What in the mornings when most people are drinking coffee? What do you have?
water.
Okay,
I mean,
that's safe.
I
That
mean,
keeps you out of trouble.
well, listen, I'm very sensitive to, and it's weird. It's just how I am. I'm very sensitive to caffeine or any kinds of medicine and stuff. It's we could do an hour show on the physical makeup of me. The doctor said, listen, we give you something, it's like taking something 100 times more. So caffeine, I can have a half cup of decaf coffee, a half cup, and I can feel it, and you get the little. So yeah, it's very strange. It's very weird. I don't know why that is. It's something to do with the processing of chemicals in your body, and I don't know. It's weird. Kind of sucks.
Well, again, I shared with y'all, I guess at the Halloween party, I can't eat chocolate
Yeah.
because it gives me migraines, and I have to
Right.
be very careful about coffee. I have coffee every now and then, but
Mhm.
it's almost not worth it because I will feel awful afterward if I drink it.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's the same thing with the caffeine and the chocolate or not, but and I love the taste of both of those things, so
Yeah.
it's not much fun. What is the first thing you notice about a person? So when you first meet someone, what's the first thing you notice?
It's going to sound weird, but it's just the energy or the aura that they give off. You don't even have to say anything or speak anything, and I kind of it's again, it sounds weird, but I always pick up on something. You know what I mean? Not that I'm always 100% right, but I mean, that's the first thing I do is you get this energy.
A
You
vibe.
can. I'm very good at reading people for the most part, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, here's a little philosophical type question. Love with heartbreaks or no love at all?
Oh, love with heartbreak for sure. I mean, you can't go through life and not feel the emotion of love or tenderness and sharing that with somebody. The heartache and the heart being heartbroken is a side effect from that, but you learn from that too, and it only gets processed in the brain and in your body and everything else, and you can deal with situations a little bit better afterwards, having gone through it. But yes, nobody should ever say without, because love is the most powerful thing in the world, and everybody needs to experience that for sure.
Do you have a favorite author and or a favorite book?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are those?
Favorite author is Anne Rice. She's done my favorite series, The Vampire Chronicles and the Mayfair Witches. So there's the witch, storyline, and then there's the vampire storyline, which involves Lestat the Lion Court, which is now an AMC produced show, which I will not watch because I did watch the first episode and I said, I don't know what I did. I ain't even going to tell you. But yeah, I just listen. I love that story. And it's a story that I started reading when I was a teenager. And it became the idea and the concept of vampires and vampirism for everything I love about vampires. I mean, it's just, there's something special about the way she talks about vampires and the lore behind New Orleans, who, which is very, again, yeah, that's another story. But yeah, Anne Rice, it's without a doubt, 100%.
And if you could be another person for a day, who would it be?
If I could be anybody for a day, who would it be? Oh my, Kathy. Who would I be? Nobody's jumping out. I don't know.
You can think on it.
Maybe one of the billionaires, maybe Bill Gates. How about that? I'd like to become Bill Gates.
Okay.
And I'd like to if it was just for a day, I don't know how much damage I could do, but or how much I could fix. But let's leave it there. I don't want to get you in trouble or nothing like that. But yeah, there you go.
Is there anyone you would love to partner with for one of your shows that it hasn't happened yet, or you don't know how to make it happen? Is there somebody out there you'd love to collaborate with for a show?
The only person I really was infatuated with coming on with me was Art Bell. Back in the day, and he's a paranormal talk show host overnight. He has since passed away.
Yeah.
But I was actually on his channel. I was a caller. I called in. It's on YouTube. The vampire, just calling vampire losing my mind line. And that's me playing a role as a vampire losing his mind. Me and Art Bell talked about it the night before, which is so odd because this was his phase when he was transferring from AM radio to his own thing, Midnight in the Desert. And I guess he was hard up and was reaching out to people too. So when I responded, he responded back. And then we started talking. And then anyways, it's on YouTube. But it's Art Bell. I would have loved to talk to him. He couldn't do it at the time. And Anne Rice. Anne Rice was actually willing to come on my channel and talk to me too. And she got shingles. And then about, I think a year or two later, talking to her assistant, she passed on. And I lost out on that. But other than that, is there anybody that I care? No, there's nobody that's too important. From the president down, no, I really don't have it. I have more interest in talking to normal people like you guys than anybody who thinks there's something. You know what I mean? Okay. So if that answers your question.
Yes. And Robin at What the Flock is wondering if you've seen the show Legacies on Netflix.
I haven't seen that one either yet. What the Flock. And I like that name. But yeah, there's a lot of shows that people keep telling me, listen, there's a new Showtime series called Let the Right One In, which is based on the horror film, which was a foreign horror film about a little vampire. Ted told me don't watch it. It veers off. I'm disappointed in everything new that I watched, so I'm even hesitant on watching that. And so there's a lot of things I don't get to watch just because I'm put off. That's all.
Do you have a favorite video or a handful of videos from your channel? Your favorite videos that you have shared?
Oh boy, I mean, that's a tough question. I've got so many, Kathy. For 7 years, I've done these with Ted, and I would have to say, if I'm proudest of any of the videos, I mean, all of these old time radio streams are what they are, but the discussions about movies with like Ted and stuff like that. Uh, we did a whole stream on Freaks, Todd Browning's Freaks, and we really go into detail for 2 hours on the behind the scenes and all the characters that played in there. It's a very controversial film because of who played in the film. It's called Freaks. So, that always stands out, but, I'm sure there were funner shows and uh, a lot more interesting shows, because sometimes, like I said, some of the shows that me and Ted did back in the day, we would just crack up laughing and just, listen, I've got shows that I'm doing now that are fantastic. I've got, shows with Ginger I'm doing. Tracy has shows too that are just very fun and exciting. So it just depends, but that one stands out more than anyone. Hey, Dave Plouffe, what's going on? Hey. Good to see you. You missed a whole lot of questions there. I think Kathy's taking a shower. Something. Putting out the flock.
Have you had some crazy moments on YouTube? Anything wild or crazy happen?
Anything wild or crazy? Jeez. I tell you what, nothing really out of the ordinary, because it's always just been me and like Ted, or me and Ginger now, me and Tracy, me and whoever comes on with me. You know what I mean? So I'd say the craziest thing that's happened, it's happened twice in 7 years, where me and Ted did a whole 2-hour show and the microphone was unplugged. and we said, oh, to hell with this. We're not going back and talking about this again for 2 hours. Nope, we're done. So it was a great show, but we didn't record the microphone. So, oh well.
Do you speak any other languages?
Oh, yes, I do. No, listen, no, I don't.
Okay.
Is
there a language?
I do.
Is there another language you'd like to learn?
No, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, if somebody could say, hey, we can download this in your brain right now and you could have it.
Yeah. I'm sure that's coming.
I don't think I'd let them mess with my brain, but I mean, listen, all the languages are very interesting to learn. I mean, even the Chinese, it's most of the population is Chinese. So I think it's an interesting language. I'd like to know. Yeah, I'm not going there, but Italian. My grandfather was Sicilian, so would I love to speak Italian? Yes. But do I want to go through the whole process of learning that at my age? No, I don't. So not really.
What's your favorite thing about what you do? It might tie into what you shared with us earlier.
Yeah.
With the feedback that you get, but
yeah, I'd say that's the most important thing. Again, you know what? Over the 3 years, it's gotten to. I mean, people still love it. I know that much, but it's become like it's become something that just it's expected now. You know what I mean? I put so much hard work into this, and and I know what it means to a lot of people, but okay, let me just say, of course, yes, I'll go back to the original question, and the answer is yes. It's special. I know it helps out a lot of people, and it means something to a lot of people. If it's not there, would people go elsewhere because there's other places to go? Probably. I would be forgotten in a second, I think, or maybe a week, and then they'd go, oh, he's just not around no more. So but I keep it up. I keep going with it, and I hope that I'm still helping people with something to listen to overnight and to help them the best way that I possibly can. Listen, it helps me, but
what do you do when you're not working on the channel? What do you like to do?
Oh, geez. Seems like I'm always working on a channel. But listen, I'm very, like I said, I'm very artistic. I love to paint. So I like to paint. I do love nature. Oh boy. Yeah, just the artistic side of me. I so want to start. Wrong. Dino's channel is one kind. Okay. Well, I agree with you. We would miss you immediately. So yes, I love painting. I love nature. I love. I really want to work on projects, these short films that I got, but I've got no time or energy to put into getting the actors, the people that I need to film it. I'm sure one day, within the next few years, I'm sure I can get to some of that stuff. But yeah.
So when you look at your, oh, there's the little comment from Dave for you.
Yeah, Dave, shut up. Listen, Professor.
When
Yes,
you
I'm
from
look Cleveland, so I mess up words sometimes.
That's what it is.
Anyway,
when you look at your YouTube analytics, what's your top demographic?
My top demographics.
Like, is there an age that's really lopsided?
Oh God, listen, Kathy. Now you're getting into stuff. I don't think I'm going to share that stuff.
Okay. Are you surprised? Are you ever surprised at?
I'm surprised. Okay. I'm surprised. Yes. Let's just say that I'm very surprised when I look at the demographics, and I do look at my analytics every single day because it's a very important part of YouTube.
Yep.
You have to keep up with, who your audience is, who your target audience is. So, yeah, I mean, do I do things that on the channel that totally different from those demographics? Yes. The old time radio shows overnight is totally different than the 8 o'clock slots where I do the movie discussions and all that, which do I care that they only get about 1,000 views or whatever? Listen, that's enough. I don't care. I'm having fun and enjoying talking about these movies. That's all that I care about. And it's extra content in addition to what I do overnight. So, yeah, totally surprised and totally different demographics. And I just hit 15 million views. So there you go.
Nice. And again, I really had dreams about you being at 100,000 subscribers by Halloween. And I mean, it could still happen. I have seen channels, just have magical things happen in a really short period of time. But I don't think it'll be too long. Do you ever check Social Blade? Are you
check familiar? It all the time,
okay.
Kathy.
Yeah, because I know the predictions for you hitting 100,000 are still really, really close. So
yeah, again, I think come spring, I think March is the target day, or month that I will hit 100K, and that'll be awesome.
I think it'll happen before then.
Well, thank you, but yeah, there was a peak for this Halloween, coming up to Halloween here with all the spooky horror streams and stuff. So there are peaks and valleys, but I get about 2,000 a month, so that kind of is putting me right around March for that. So yes, yeah.
And Ginger asked earlier in the chat, I can't find that comment or that question, but it's always among the ones that I like to ask, sort of to wrap things up before I turn it over to the chat for questions, or just to let you tell us what you might like to let us know.
Can I say, I'm sorry, real quick. I see Dave Plouffe in the chat. He said the best video was the one where Ted had to leave to use the bathroom mid broadcast. Yes, listen, Kathy, I gotta say that real quick. We were doing The Old Dark House, a classic, love that movie. And yes, it was so funny because we were live, and listen, for 2 hours, if you're talking and something happens, and he reaches over to me and he goes, Dino, can you do this by yourself real quick? I said, listen, don't even say nothing. Just get up and go. I'm fine. So, but it was the funniest moment, and leave it to Dave to pick him out. But yes, that was the funniest moment. during one of the streams because I'm like, listen, we're live. I think I
Well,
said that on the stream. I'm
that
like, we're
might fit.
live.
That might fit into the crazy stuff that's happened category then.
Yeah, yeah.
So thanks, Dave, for reminding him of that. But the question Ginger asked that I like to ask is, where would you like to take the channel? What do you want? If you could have it go or grow to anything just by wishing for it, what would you wish? What would you want to see?
Well, I mean, hey, I would love to see continued growth. I would love to just keep on growing the channel. I would love it to uh, be bigger than it is. It technically, I think it should be. Listen, I'm not griping, that's for sure. But yes, just to continue with what I'm doing, and I would love for the movie discussions and things like that to kind of you know, become a bigger thing on the channel, which is kind of difficult when, you fit into a larger category, which is old time radio shows. But honestly, I'd like to make the channel more of a network type thing. I'd love to bring in even other people with their own shows. It's hard to do. People who come onto YouTube want to do their own thing. And even if they're at 300 subs and I go, wow, this is a really cool thing you got going on. And I know that no matter how cool the show you got, it isn't going to go anywhere because YouTube is a different platform now. It's totally different. They just want to do it themselves. So I'm like, it's hard to find people or that want to become part of that late horror show network type thing. But I picture a time where there's slots where, hey, you can find this show on this channel, the Late Horror Show, on Wednesday at 5 p.m. or noon, whatever it is. But again, it's not an easy thing to do. I also would like to start recording these short films that I am working on and get that up and is part of the channel too. I think that's number one most important. But with that comes time. And if the time and energy is there, it most likely will be, I'm hoping, this coming spring when temperatures warm up and I could start to get the more stuff and I'm more settled, because it's been a hectic year, Kathy. This has been, I can't believe that I've been able to do everything that I do, as hectic as my life has been, which I don't talk about. Just because it's just way too personal. Not that it's nothing, it's just life, right? Life stuff. But I'm surprised that I'm able to do as much as I can. But with things settling down a bit, I hope that by spring or summer that you guys start seeing some really cool stuff. How about that?
I like it.
Yeah.
I see my friend Lee from First Floor Audio is here. Thanks for being here. And
What up, Lee?
anyone in chat, if you got some questions for Dino, throw them out there. Oh, Denny's here. Hey, RTN, how are you? Thanks for being here.
Hi, boy donuts.
So
What's up?
while we're waiting to see if anyone has questions, is there a major thing you want those who visit your channel and subscribe to your channel to know? What message, ultimately, what message would you want to share with those people?
Okay. And Ginger, take care. She's going off to do some work now, but she says thanks. Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Ginger. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say, okay, yeah, real quick, let me answer that question. And then looks like Dave's got a question. But if I want anybody to know anything about my channel, and again, I'm an emotional person, and I see, I don't even want to talk about it because there's copycats out there right now, and it pisses me off. But listen, if anybody wants anything out of what I do, it's that I'm creating a place for people to get away from the everyday, the anxiety of life, everything that's negative. Okay. I want this to be a place to where you come at night and you could settle down and you know your friends are in the chat. They're part of everything. And I like to think that I created this kind of community where everybody's tight knitted, and it just helps everybody, all around. That's pretty much it. A haven. Exactly, Harry Scott. 100%. That's what I've tried to do, and I think I've succeeded for the most part. Listen, YouTube is not an easy place to do things on. There's been ups and downs. There's been people who have come to try to, mess things up. There's trolls that you always put up with, but you figure out ways around it, and you hope your moderators do the job for you when you're not around. But yes, it's a haven, and I hope that it continues to be that for all of the people out there. So.
All right. And then, here's Dave's question. If you could have been in let's go back to his first question. Yeah. Out of all the radio actors, who would you most like to meet? I would probably open that to living or dead, right?
Oh, sure. But I think that's going to probably be dead if he's talking the radio actors.
Old time radio, yeah.
Yeah, those are back then. Because listen, Kathy, radio dramas today, even if they try, and there's a lot of people trying, and I give them props for trying to do what was done in the past. But listen, I've talked about this many, many, many times, that even the great movies that I love from like the 40s, 30s, 40s, whatever, up into the 80s and stuff like that, even the 80s, you can't recreate what they did even in the 80s. You can't do it. Film doesn't allow you to do it, right? There's a whole 4K resolution type thing going on, that you can make everything set like it's the 80s. You could do perfect, but it's not going to be the same, because acting, language, everything's culture, everything's changed. So to put somebody in it, anyways, I'm long-winded, I know. But Vincent Price, probably for sure. He did quite a bit of radio. Well, you know what? Yes, Vincent Price. Peter Lorre's just, Peter Lorre's a character who did a lot of radio programs in the day too. And he just was so charismatic, and it's not just a voice, it's who he is as a person. If you see him on the screen in a lot of his old films, I mean, he would have been an interesting person to talk to. But number one, Vincent Price. So there you go. we could recreate Night of the Comet.
Look, here's a request from Adam Sky. I'm looking to see what he's talking about here.
Can I please rehang that picture on the far right, as the spacing is uneven? Listen. Oh my God.
Oh no, listen, you're going to make him, Adam, you just now set it up. He's going to go back and look at this now to see what you're talking about. I guarantee it.
Listen, no, I understand what he's talking about. Now I'm going to notice that every time I look back on my screen. But yeah, it is by maybe like 3 inches or so, something like that. But oh well.
Oh, and then here's Dave's second question. If you could have been in any horror movie and any role, what would it have been? What a great question. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, leave it to Dave for the tough
yeah,
question.
Who's doing the grilling here?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. My favorite horror film of all time is Rosemary's Baby. So would I like to be paired up with Mia Farrow? Yeah, maybe John Cassavetes and Rosemary's Baby, just so I could
kill two birds with one stone. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. I ain't even going to elaborate anymore. Yeah.
Any other questions for Dino?
Adam says, sorry, Dino. No, it's all good. And it's funny, he says we could recreate Night of the Comet. Listen, I understand what you're saying, Dave, but you can't recreate Night of the Comet. But anyways, I like the film. I think he had an issue with it. But
what a fun project that would be, though, for the channel, for you to do a little radio play with voice actors that are people from the channel.
Well,
I don't know enough about how that could work, but in my head, just seeing his comment about recreating anything, I thought, wouldn't that be fun? Maybe something you've
oh
written
no, that's
and
been
have
on the
each, have
shelf.
people from the
Yeah,
channel, your regular folks,
that's been on
audition,
the.
or you just assign people a role and we just have some fun with it.
Yeah, yeah. Before you were around, Kathy, maybe how long you been part of the channel now?
It's only been 3 or 4 months, I think.
Yeah, maybe about 6 months ago, 7 months ago. It might have been longer than that. I don't know, but that's something that I talked about. I have a whole mess of scripts from the old era of radio, some Inner Sanctum, some other things, and that was on my list to do. Recreate. I wanted to do live readings. Actually, I didn't want to take it to big production with sound effects and all that other stuff. I just wanted to recreate a live reading of some of these scripts and have fun with it on the channel. So, because again, I don't think you can recreate what they had. Everything just sounds so crisp, and you hear a door close. It's so crisp that it's fake. It sounds fake, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But again, I respect people who are trying to recreate them, because there's a lot of people who like the new radio dramas and stuff. But yes, that's something that is still on the table. And I've talked to, there was another channel who does recent radio dramas on his channel, and I was going to do some of those readings with him. But anyways, it's on the shelf still, but it's doable, and that may be something that could be added to the channel once things settle down here in my life. So there you go.
So in honor of Denny being here today, I didn't ask you anything about food, and whether you realize it or not, that seems to come up a lot in our chatting when we're all together. What's your favorite food? Do you have a favorite kind of food, or a favorite dish specifically?
Boy, Chinese food is my favorite. So, and my homemade spaghetti, my own, because it was passed down from my grandmother, and I'll never. I mean, as long as I know, it should stay in. It's written down. There's some secret ingredients and stuff, but it's just a good old fashioned spaghetti, and yeah, that's probably my favorite, other than like just regular old anything Chinese, sweet and sour chicken. But it's got to be from a good restaurant. Okay, it can't be your cheap takeout, or although there's some very cheap takeouts that got some very good Chinese food. So, yeah, that's pretty much.
All right. So anything else you want to share with us? I don't want to have you spoil anything, or, let too many cats out of any bags, but do you have anything new coming up? Any new 8 o'clock ideas?
I've got ideas, but again, yes, you guys, I guess, just be surprised when they happen. We're pretty filled with the movie discussions at the time being, because I want to watch as many Giallo films as I can and get them out there. And a lot of people don't have reviews or discussions about these films on YouTube, which is because they're they're not known as much as the popular films. So that's about it. I'd like the paranormal show to I'd like to get, and I'm trying better or more not interesting guests. Let me not say that. That's stupid. Everybody's interesting that comes on. Even the again, people who have no books or nothing. They're all interesting to talk to. But there's some big names out there that I'd like to start getting into the show if I possibly could. Listen, I did an interview with Doug Bradley, Pinhead, one of the, it's just so great. And it was because his wife was a fan of what I was doing. And next thing you know, I'm talking to Pinhead, which was unbelievable. And so, yeah, there's stuff coming up. Just stay tuned.
Okay. And I wanted to share with everyone. So tomorrow night, trivia night at Dino's channel. if you have not been in on a trivia night, I just want to remind you that you don't have to. Well, I wanted to try and figure out how to make that picture show.
Oh, The Man Who Laughs from 1928 trivia night. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Listen, trivia night's just me there asking questions. It's fun, babbling on, being goofy. That's kind of what I do. So if you enjoy that, you enjoy that. But yes, it will be The Man Who Laughs. I don't think you're going to be able to get it because you're using StreamYard too.
Yeah.
Over the entire.
I mean, I can
Actually, I think you got it. You need to have it as an overlay, but don't worry about it.
Okay,
It doesn't
I'll
matter.
figure that out on another time. But I grabbed
Yeah.
that from the channel because I wanted just people to know what thumbnail they're looking for. But I was just going to say that the first live on your channel that I was ever in was a trivia night. I don't remember what it was. And I did want to say too that, I mean, I've been involved with the channel as far as being in the chats and stuff for a few months. But before I even realized that you had live chats going on, because I have always had to fall asleep listening to something.
Okay.
And CBS Radio Mystery Theater has been my go-to since it came out in 1972. And so I know I first found your channel a year or more ago for sure, just searching for CBS Radio Mystery Theater, came across a 12-hour stream and thought, oh yeah, that's plenty. I don't sleep that long. That's all I need right there.
Yeah.
And then just fell asleep to that many, many nights. But I wouldn't think to look for it until I was getting into bed. And so it was just, I think maybe on my recommendations page. So I had subscribed to the channel before you saw me like chatting in the chats and stuff, I'm sure. And then a recommendation came up for an upcoming stream. And it was probably going to be a CBS Radio Mystery Theater overnight. And so I clicked on my notification button. And so as soon as it started, then I was there. And that's when I noticed, oh my gosh, these are live people here talking while this is happening.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all it took for me then to realize this is where I needed to be hanging out. So
it's something special, I think.
Oh gosh, yeah. As I've said before here on my roundups, I just think there's two kinds of people, either people that love old time radio or people that have not heard it or haven't heard enough of it to know that they love it. So, you know, I just encourage anyone who has met Dino now and has heard me talk about him and the channel to go and give it a try. Pick an old stream if you want to, or pick another of the 8 o'clock shows, the little hour and a half or so shows, and see what he does there. But I think there's something for everyone. Literally, there is something for everyone there. So it's not just about horror. Don't be put off by the name of the channel. It's not all horror stuff. Again, there's some comedy mixed in. There's lots of detective stuff. There's lots of mystery stuff. Some great storytelling in general by actors that, you know, we'll never have people like some of the actors that did the work on these shows. And just a great nostalgia opportunity. I guarantee you listen to some of these shows that Dino's put together for us, and you know, commercials often are parts of the files that he uses, and those are some of my favorite things. I get annoyed when people come in and say, oh, I wish this didn't have the commercials. To me,
you get people saying all kinds of things.
That is not a true OTR fan, because that is so much a part of the flavor of the experience, is to hear those old commercials and jingles, and you know, the actors maybe that were the spokespeople for companies. And anyway, so here's this question from RTN. What is it about low volume voices that makes it so comforting to fall asleep to?
Well, yeah, exactly. There's something going on. Who knows what it does in your brain, right? I mean, but it's just comforting. It's just, instead of pure silence where your mind tends to overthink and think and think and think, and you can't fall asleep. You're listening to voices, radio show, whatever, and you know, before you know it, 10, 15 minutes, you're drifting off to sleep. So I do got to get going, Rich Cat.
Yeah. That's
Kathy, I mean,
here.
but yeah, my son's just calling me, so I
All
don't know
right.
what that's about.
You
So
guys, please check out the channel. I just wanted to thank you, Dino. Thank
yeah,
you, number
sure.
one, for loving people, because
Thank
that's what
you.
comes across to me. That's what I
Thank you.
love about you most, because I think what you do for us comes from that.
Hmm.
And thank you for creating a haven, a safe chat, a warm chat, a family of people that are all there for the same reasons I think I'm there. And there is nothing else like what you do on YouTube. And I spend a lot of time on YouTube, and I have some other channels that I really enjoy. There is nothing else like what you do. And I am humbled that you would come and visit with me on my little tiny channel
Oh,
and share
please.
yourself with us. And I
Yeah.
just love you that much more for it. Thank you for what you shared with us today, and
Thank you.
given us some interesting and enjoyable answers. I will see you tonight.
Okay.
I'll see you at trivia tomorrow night. I'll turn you loose and I'll be wrapping up my show, but much, much love to you.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank
Much love to
you.
you too. And I thank you and thank everybody out there. Thank you guys. Much love.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you guys for being here. This was a treat. I know you guys have heard me talking about this for since I told you that I wanted to have him on the show. I think before I even had him officially booked, I think I at least intimated that I was going to be trying to sweet talk him into doing this show with me. And I hope this gave you a little bit of a taste of what is so enjoyable, because what you saw today, what you heard today is what we see and hear and feel when we're with Dino at his channel, whether it's an overnight stream where he's not on the screen. We're looking at the backgrounds, which are super cool. Y'all need to check those out. And we're listening to the old radio episodes, or whether he's on the show, it's a live stream and he's doing a movie review, or we're talking about paranormal experiences, or any of the regular weeknight shows he has before these overnight streams air each day. And it is an escape. The feedback that he shared, I don't know if all of you were here at the very beginning of the show today, but when he talked about getting feedback from people in like nursing homes and assisted living places, the older people there that obviously deal with a lot, and there may be memory issues, and there may be other emotional things happening with them that are just related to being later in life. And the blessing that these shows, the blessing of what he does for those people, that's a blessing we're all getting now. So don't wait. Don't wait till you're in the nursing home. Come and get a little free therapy. Come and meet a really great community of people who greet each other every time we see each other, who care about each other. And, when there's a stress or a celebration to be shared, that's exactly what happens there. And I don't know that I ever thought I would find something like that on YouTube. It can be such an intimidating creature. It's massive. It's huge. I don't even remember the kind of figures that I've read about, how many videos are uploaded every day, how many total views happen on YouTube every day. It's a monstrous, all-encompassing machine. And it's very refreshing to find something that feels intimate and that feels small in spite of being big. I mean, his channel's big compared to any of ours here for sure. But it's a blessing. I guarantee you will be blessed to go over and listen to some of these shows and come and hang out with us. I will be hoping to see some of you. And here's another little message from Denny. Yes, so this is one of the longtime regulars. He's a moderator for the channel. Among the first people that I met when I, dipped my toe in that little chat water after having listened to some of the streams overnight for a while. I just would encourage you to come and check it out and be a part of something that, again, is a safe and fun place to be. But I don't have a whole lot left to go over with you guys. As always, I'm just touched and moved by everybody that will come and spend some time with me in my live streams. I hope I didn't miss anything in the chat that anybody wanted me to address or answer. If you have any other questions, I'm going to sit here for a little while. Once I take myself off the screen, I'll leave the chat open for a little while. So if you guys have any things you need to say to each other or anything else you want to post that you want to be sure I'll see, then I won't miss it. Obviously, Halloween is right around the corner. We don't do too much here because we don't get trick-or-treaters. I think I've shared that with you before. And I think we don't get trick-or-treaters because we don't have sidewalks on our street. Our neighbors to the north said they do get some trick-or-treaters. There are sidewalks on those streets. And we have a neighbor that brings her kids by on Wednesdays on her way to piano lessons with her oldest of 3. And they just come by to feed the ducks and feed Cabo and Delilah. So, maybe they'll swing by. I don't know what their plans might be for Halloween, but if that's something that's special for your family, have a safe Halloween. I will be back next Friday with, let's see, my guest next Friday is Jen from Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve. And she's my first guest of the day. And then Nancy with Our Treasured Home will be the second guest for the day. So some more fun homesteading channels coming up next week. I do still have a big channel coming up mid-November. I'm really excited to introduce that content creator to you guys as well. Again, completely different from what any of us are doing on our channel, but a benefit to anyone who is a part of it. And I think you guys will enjoy him a lot. But I'm going to let everyone go. Thank you. Stay safe and warm wherever you are. It is a chilly day here in Southlake, Texas, and it's been raining all day. So I don't think any of the dogs have pooped in the house again now since earlier, but I knew that was coming because I just have a couple that are so terrified of what they think could turn into a storm that they won't even go outside. So that being said, I hope you don't have to deal with any of that this weekend. We do have a movie night still. Our 12 days of Halloween is still going on. Check out my community tab for the details on that. Be blessed, everyone, and love to all from RichKatRanch. I will see you in the next video. And again, I will keep the chat open for a little while, even after I leave the screen. And then I'll go into the YouTube chat just to make sure I didn't miss anything. So thanks again for being here, and we'll see you soon.